Hello, welcome to the Vitruvian Club. If you haven't watched the companion video to this one titled Under the Moon, I recommend watching that video prior to this, as this video will be analyzing the lyrics of song in said video. And in addition to that, I would recommend you watch the, 4 other songs now that have come out before this, being My Valentine, Anima Mundi, Ballad of Silicon Valley, and Zeitgeist and the Antichrist, because there is an interconnectedness to each of those songs in relation to this one. But that's not as necessary. Without further ado, let's get into the song. So, Under the Moon. Yeah, this one's pretty seminal in this whole project. It's about revelation of a certain sort. But we'll get into that as we analyze the lyrics. So we start out with, somebody help me take these blinders off. I have tunnel vision against my will. I just thought this was the coolest line. I was picturing like a horse charging into battle. You know, they wear these, you often have to put blinders on a horse so it doesn't go absolutely bonkers when it's charging into battle, into its death. Maybe horses tend to have more sense than a human in that regard, which is interesting. But I was kind of thinking of these. Hold on one second. Let's go this way. I might get lost on this video. I'm in unfamiliar territory, but perhaps that's a part of the journey. As I was saying, you know, a horse has these blinders on, that its vision is restricted, and I related this feeling of incompleteness that people can experience. And I think everyone's experienced at some point in their life, and that they feel as though they're being constricted to a limited view against their will. Doctor, please, no Adderall, no Zoloft to kill my soul. So this would be, you know, I guess the recognizing that you are uncomfortable with your current situation. You can't focus on what you're supposed to focus on, and you feel emotionally bereft. And if you go to the doctor for these problems, you're likely going to be medicated, and that will be the solution. But in this song is a rejection of that solution. That being the realization being that is not the answer to these problems. And when I was writing this song, I actually was on some kind of stimulant for what I would classify as, I guess, some sort of attention deficit disorder. And I'm no longer on that. And I think that was the right call, to be honest, because maybe I can't focus on certain things as good as I could while I was legally doped up. I feel better. I feel better about being, let's say. And with Zoloft or antidepressants, I think that, there's been times when maybe that's what a doctor would have prescribed me, but I'm happy that I don't need that, right? And maybe there is an overprescription of these things because we kind of devalue human agency in a way, especially in the modern world. But I digress. Yes. Dreams of greener pastures, and this laughter is what I'm after. So this is that, the realization of these, this incompleteness and this despair, and it's, well, you don't want the solutions that the modern world provides you, as in taking your pills, but you still desire for this idealistic world that you don't have, and where you can be happy, and where you can just exist in beauty in these green pastures, right? Endlessly laughing. I'll find it someday, the path of retribution. I'll learn it some way. Oh, it's waiting for me. This is that, that's that sense of hope that you will be able to get through whatever it is you're going through, whenever discomforts are causing you this distress. And it's this hope that is perhaps more powerful than any solution that someone can give you, whether it is medicinal or instructional. We have oh, Sophia, won't you meet me under the moon? Derived, Sophia here is in reference to, is it the Greek word sophos, which is what the name Sophia is derived from, meaning wisdom. So if we want to replace that word here, you're like, oh, wisdom, won't you meet me under the moon? But I think it's it's better personified with the name. It makes it more personal, in that we are saying, oh, Sophia, won't you meet me under the moon? I want to see you illuminated by the light of your stars. You can show me who you are. So this is what we think about when the moon is out. It's during nighttime, during darkness, during uncertainty. So you're asking for Sophia to be revealed to you in this, let's say, this dark night of the soul, to be illuminated by her stars, so she can show you who she is. So you can have the wisdom and the knowledge of that which you seek. And, well, I know in, I guess, Gnostic mythology, Sophia would be the goddess of wisdom. And, well, there was a time in which I was interested in Gnosticism. I do have my critiques of it in the current moment. However, we won't get too much into that. Okay, so we get into the second verse, which is, each lens yields a different hue, and I use my mind just to see you. So this would be like everyone has their own subjective experience that changes the hue of the world, changes the way in which the world looks. But this wisdom is kind of filtered through a particular sense, being the mind, if we want to accept the idea that the mind is itself a sense and is a mode of perception, which I think is a very interesting idea. So this would be, so kind of in summation here, it would be through our subjective experience obtained through our senses, there is perhaps a greater sense which is received through the mind. And this is kind of what that is referencing. And I guess we can get a little perennialist here, and well, maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe there is some truth to a perennialist philosophy, in that people are interpreting some sort of objectivity in a limited subjective way, but the mind allows that to mold itself into an objective truth. Colors paint the soul, and the sound of music makes me whole. And this is kind of building on the last part, but the sound of music makes me whole is, of course, the pleasures of music, but also of listening to music, but also the creation of music. This is the whole purpose of this project that I'm doing, is to find my wholeness through the creation of these songs, and also to help other people find their wholeness by experiencing these songs. And then we have "The hills are alive, but so am I, misconstrued by alibis." And this is, again, talking about the interconnectedness of the world, of course, of our fellow humans, and our fellow organisms, such as this tree right here. There we go. Oh, that's a little smudgy. The actions have consequences, but that's all right. That's how you learn. But yeah, not only living organisms, but the world around you, the dirt that I'm walking on, all muddy. The hills around us, it almost feels as though they're alive just as we are, but misconstrued by alibis, and that, we accept that there is some sort of separation between the different things in the world, which is perhaps true, but perhaps it's also just a consequence of our limited subjective experience. I don't know. I'm not making a declaration there. I'm just making an interesting observation and an expression of feelings in which I've had. And then we have the chorus again, and now we have the bridge. Now I'm breaking through the veil of illusion. So this is that moment of, kind of ruminating on all of these things, and then having that moment, like I guess Paul on the road to Damascus, or the Buddha sitting under a tree, or perhaps Newton watching an apple fall. All these moments of realization or revelation in which things change, baptized by insight. So you are transformed by some new knowledge that you've obtained that you were unaware of before. Oh, that was a spider. Be careful. Baptized by... Yeah, and then and this next line is demonstrating what this new knowledge is succinctly. I know no fear, only love. Love, love. This great declaration of love, and that this is... Oh, careful. This is what you... This is what you find when you are truly relentless in a deep search for some kind of deeper truth. And this is what it's been in my experience, and I think if we look throughout human history, all around the world, this is what it tends to be. And some might disagree with that, but, well, that's what I think. Or rather, this is my experience. Yeah, and then we have, so yeah, this is the culmination of the song, is this final realization, this longing, this searching, and then you glimpse it. You glimpse this truth, this: do not have fear, do not be afraid, only love. And well, this kind of, I'll tie this into the companion book for this song, with that last phrase, do not be afraid, which is something that's often said in the Bible by various supernatural beings, such as angels. And now I can talk about Abductions by Dr. John Mack. I thought about not using this because it's very strange. And well, I still don't know what to think about the book, but I thought it was important to include because it's important for my own. It was an important milestone in my personal journey of discovery, in that this book is about patients of a psychiatrist who claimed they were abducted by aliens, which is, very strange, very, very bizarre. And I'm not making a statement as to the validity of these things, but this is one of this, and in general the UFO topic, which is something that I found great interest in throughout my time writing this album. Something interesting about it is that it requires you to think creatively. If you're given this information, I'm not saying you have to accept it, but you're given this information that is so beyond what we accept to be reality. But these are supposedly people's experiences. In order to even incorporate it in some way, you have to open up your mind a little bit. You have to think creatively as to what a solution to these experiences could be. And like I said, whether you believe or disbelieve in these experiences and all the experiences in which other people in this peculiar world of ufology claim to have experienced, it requires you to use an open mind, or else you're not going to be able to engage in the topic. And for me, honestly, out of all the things I've been interested in, learning about UFOs and learning about alien abductions, specifically in reference to Dr. Mack's work, has allowed me to be a much more creative thinker and a much more open-minded thinker and much less ego-driven thinker than anything else that I've engaged with. So if that is some validation as to the validity of these experiences, then so be it. And I don't know, I think there is something to that. So to take away anything from this song, and to take away anything from Abductions by John Mack and strange esoteric information, is that there is an importance to opening your mind to different possibilities, and the limitation of that seems to be a fear of the unknown, a fear of abandoning what provides you comfort. But I think that to be the best person possible, you ought to be willing to really try to understand the world, no matter how contrary to your preconceived notions certain things may be. Because the only way you're going to discover the truth is to really try to understand the world and not try to fit it into the box in which you've decided is the correct one that you've created over X amount of years of your life. Yeah. This song is definitely an important turning point in this album that I was working on, because it represents a change in my mindset. And we can see leading up to this, there was a longing for something, a longing for some sort of truth, and this song provides a pretty fundamental truth. And from here on, we are going to be, I guess, dealing with the consequences of this new truth. Yeah. All right. So I think that's about it for this song. But yeah, thanks for watching if you got all the way to the end. It's very hot and humid today, and this was kind of a hard one to talk about without getting too crazy. I try to keep it manageable for the sane person. But anyway, if you enjoyed this, thank you for watching it. Or rather, if you watched it to the end, thank you for watching it. If you enjoyed it, that's great. If you didn't, well, thank you for watching it, and then hopefully you'll leave some feedback. But yeah, I guess I shall see you next time. Goodbye.